Hello everyone, me again. Part 2 of 3 of the Loch Fyne peated single cask series. This one might get a lot of attention from you. This is a 11-year-old Ledaig at 53% alcohol. Now the colour on this, remarkably light. That is a very white wall behind me, and that is an extremely light colour. I've got the Caol Ila from the first video just here. You can kind of see the comparison of those. Much like the Caol Ila, this is a cask strength single barrel, 53% alcohol. Definitely going to assume it's a bourbon cask, possibly second refill. Insanely light colour to this. Ledaig. We talked about Tobermory a lot in the last couple of weeks and on the previous video. Ledaig is a firm favourite of mine in terms of peated whiskey in general, has been for a very long time. The standard 10-year-old is a stunning £45 bottle of whiskey. Arguably, in terms of things you can't get in supermarkets, probably one of the best, if not the best. Put Laphroaig up there as well. But as a style, Ledaig, it can vary quite largely. It can go from this super powerful, over-the-top, spicy style. And that's not even with the cask strength stuff. I find even some of their whiskies at 46.3, or sometimes even the stuff they've bottled at lower natural cask strengths of like 50, 51 have been like insanely spicy, but in a good way. Not in a particularly off-putting way. It's always been like jalapeno and habanero style of flavour. And on the other side of it, they can be remarkably soft and very gentle and almost alluring in how they can get you into peated whiskey. But here it is, this beautiful 11-year-old style. Oh, that's different. I'm obsessed with cheese at the minute. The Caol Ila had that parmesan thing in the previous video. This is cheddar. This is sharp and tangy. I know I don't really get with Ledaig, and I have never got with Ledaig before. It's those kind of mossy notes. It's like walking through, pretentious tasting note and smelling note inbound. Imagine walking through like a really wet forest or something by a river after it's just finished raining, and you can kind of smell that petrichor and everything's kind of covered in water. There's that to it. Plus cheddar cheese, little camping holiday in a glass. Whoa, behind that is some pretty industrious stuff. Getting like wood polish. Wood polish and orange. Something really unusual, something that the more I think about it, I've never really noticed it to have a smell, but for some reason this whiskey is reminding me of pine nuts, like when you toast them in a frying pan. There's an oiliness to the smell, maybe that's why. But yeah, tangy, damp, funky, sharp stuff with this. Still perplexed by the colour of the thing. Excuse me. Well, I've got a cough, this should clear it up. Let's taste. Do you remember a couple of minutes ago when I said that Ledaig can kind of come in two styles, very soft and not? This is not. Yeah, that's cleared my senses out. Okay. That spicy thing I was talking about like jalapeno and habanero. Oh yeah. The finish on this thing is just... And by the way, if you don't like spice, I'm not saying this to put you off. I've developed a real taste for spicier and spicier things recently. So therefore I've been using more like fresh chilies and stuff. But the finish on this, honestly, it's like when you have something where you put just the perfect amount of spice in it, and I mean like chili pepper, and then you get that just the longevity of the chili kind of floating around your mouth. It's that plus like loads of honey and chili flakes and black pepper. I'm just talking about the finish right now. I've skipped a few parts, but I'm quite enjoying that. That is that's the kind of thing I needed today to kind of awake me a bit. So yeah, chili, honey, black pepper, chili flake. There's a beautiful kind of saltiness to it. This is just the finish alone, and the oiliness of it, like deli meat, fatty, rich kind of prosciutto. The initial arrival on the tongue is just very oily, very rich. It seems to encompass all parts of your mouth, and then in comes the spice. It hits straight away, and then it dies down. Through that kind of come these flavours. It's kind of custardy, it's a bit nutmeg-like. I think like little custard tarts. And then as you kind of revel in that sweetness a bit, because it gives you a bit of a break, the spice comes back in. It's definitely not oak-driven spice, because we can see from the colour of this that it's not a particularly cask-influenced whiskey. But my God, if you like Ledaig, you will like this quite a lot, because I like this quite a lot. Loch Fyne, in the tail end of November or December, did a Ledaig, was it 11 or a 13-year-old? I can't remember. I think it was a 13-year-old at like 56% from an Oloroso sherry cask. I had that bottle upstairs. I haven't reviewed it because it's already sold out. But this has like all of the impact of that, but it's 2 years younger and it's in a refill bourbon cask, but not sherry. More black pepper on the nose. It's like when you freshly grind black pepper. It's lemony, it's scented, it's just in the air. You can smell the pepper in it. Then black pepper, honey and chili flakes with a bit of custard and a bit of nutmeg. And then at the end of the second sip, pine needle, fresh pine, quite a bit of fresh wood actually. So I take back my comment about it not being that woody. There is some wood influence and taste to it. A much more interesting nose for me. Didn't expect it to smell or taste like cheddar. And then the arrival of it and the spice and the impact of it, it just does a little bit more than the Caol Ila. But overall, I give them a similar score. I'd give that an 8.5 as well. That is, yeah, I think the only word to describe that is impactful. That is a particularly potent, intense product. I expect this to scent the room for days. But yes, thank you all for watching. That's the Loch Fyne Whiskies Ledaig 11-year-old at 53%. Comes in at £95 a bottle. Should be available this week or next week, I think. It'll be this week when the video comes out. Yeah, it should be available now. So I'll put like a little link to Loch Fyne Whiskies down there if you want to see the bottle. But yes, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in another video.